What's going on, YouTube? Today I have a little bit different of a video for you. I have officially broken the world record for ball speed again, and in this video I'm going to release some unseen footage as well as what the actual number is. I have multiple different camera angles for you guys to check out, but before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about my journey to accomplishing this feat, so stay with me, let's get into it. So this journey all started after the 2022 World Long Drive Championships. The 2022 season was my first ever long drive season. I only competed in a handful of events, and at the World Championship, I actually had an injured left wrist, didn't even make it out of the first round, but my top ball speed was 208 miles per hour. And I said to myself right at that time that I did not want to lose to anybody who was faster than me just because they were faster or trained harder. So I dedicated the off season, once my wrist was healed in the winter, to gaining club speed. I ended up growing out my beard in the off season, which is now gone. I called it my off season beard, turned into my speed beard because I was having such good progress. I just didn't want to shave it at the time. Clearly it's gone now. But in that process, I discovered a true passion for pushing speed. I would love to win a tournament, but there are a lot of factors that go into actually winning a tournament based on if you are on that day, if you're on for multiple days, if you get lucky bounces, where the wind's going, your luck. There are so many different aspects of that, not to mention how awesome the field is and that the fastest guy doesn't necessarily win. Totally understand that. My training right now has aligned more with pushing speed, seeing how fast we can get the human body to move, how fast we can get a golf ball to actually fly off of the club face. I have such a passion for feeling that adrenaline that runs through your body. It goes up and down your back like an absolute lightning bolt when you're training, that I want to see right now. There's only a certain amount of time you can actually push your body that hard, and right now that's kind of where I'm sitting. So while I would absolutely love to win a tournament, I'm gonna keep pushing this ball speed number as high as humanly possible right now. So this brings us to the last training day in December 2022. Wrist had fully healed, and I told my training partner, Bryce, I was going over 210 miles per hour for the first time that day. And not only did I do that multiple times, I got 213 miles per hour. And in the process of that, I found my true passion for pushing speed. The celebrations were epic. The adrenaline was flying. I remember going back and forth between an LD30 Plus with a Callaway Epic long drive head, as well as hitting a Crankfire driver with a Fujikura Flywire 2X shaft. Didn't know a lot about training equipment, but I did know one thing. That 213 felt good. So 2022 ended with a bang, but the new year started even better because in the very first training session, I got 150 mile per hour club speed for the very first time, and that rolled perfectly into February, where for the first time ever, I crossed 220 mile per hour ball speed off my checklist. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in that session, which felt amazing and only furthered my addiction to pushing speed. I now officially felt like I was one of the faster guys on tour. But here's the issue. While on the surface it looked like I was gaining incredible amounts of speed, which I was doing pretty well, the issue was at the time, I was probably the fastest person swinging different training aids, and also one of the, if not the fastest person swinging a 6-iron at the time. So my speed progress and gains were not translating properly into my driver. This is why Bryce and I ended up developing the Speed Toad. At this time, early 2023, we developed a prototype of the Speed Toad because we realized the importance of training with your own shaft, because when you're training with something that is not your own shaft, it doesn't actually translate one for one into your driver. So we were training with this now for the rest of 2023, which leads me to May, when I got 160 mile per hour club speed for the very first time, thanks to this little guy right here. So while it looked like I was making tons of progress previously, I gained 8 miles per hour in just 2 months of training with the Speed Toad after I had already made tremendous gains since 2022. Bryce and I immediately knew that we had a huge secret weapon in our arsenal, and we decided we were going to keep that a secret for the rest of the 2023 season. During this time, I started my push for 230 mile per hour ball speed. With 160 mile per hour club speed now in the bag, I knew for a fact I was just one good swing away from actually accomplishing this feat and becoming just the 6th man in the world to do so. I want you to pay close attention to all the different camera angles in that 160 mile per hour video. We were doing this because we were trying to capture that magic 230 mile per hour ball speed number on every single camera that we had. We trained together weekly, so every single week we would set up all of our cameras and we would train. Here's the issue. Time after time after time, we continued to fail not accomplishing that until a magic day in June when I told Bryce, hey, let's just train for fun today, not put up all the cameras. And all of a sudden, in that session, I was this close to going 230 miles per hour. Bryce throws up a camera in the corner. Boom, I hit 230. We celebrate and go nuts. It was absolutely awesome. I became the 7th man in the world to do so. Now, I bring up these camera angles for a reason, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So at this point when I went 230, I was actually just switching to a TPT shaft, but I was building it myself. So right after I went 230, I hooked up with Chris from Apex Golf Hawaii. Check him out on Instagram. I don't care if you are playing normal golf, if you're trying to shoot better scores, if you're trying to be more accurate, have more speed, you're into long drive, it does not matter. You need to be swinging Chris's builds. His builds are tuned and optimized for more speed, more distance, and more accuracy. They are insane. I cannot overstate how important those were in my journey. Take these 2 shafts, for instance. They are both 2 TPT shafts, both spineless, but they are both set up differently because each shaft, even inside the same brand, needs to be set up differently to have it be optimized. So check him out. I will forever use his builds, and that's when I started to see another speed jump. So that 163 mile per hour club head speed video took place in July. So I already had tremendous progress just from June to July in club speed from using Chris's builds and also from training with the Speed Toad. We were in that video using the TPT Nitro 20 high, as well as I switched to a Cobra head from Callaway. That helped tremendously. I continue to use the same setup built by Chris for all of my records, but I want to talk about something very specific in this video now, which is our focus for the day. Bryce and I had really honed in on whatever the main focus for the day of. That is exactly what we were going to put on the screen. So when we're trying to hit a certain club head speed number and club speed's the main focus of the day, we are only putting club head speed up. If we're trying to get a ball speed number, we are only putting ball speed up. We are so focused in on that one mission, and that has tremendously helped our progress. After the training session, we would go back and look at the other numbers just to see what we were. But again, we weren't hyper focused on that. But we could see that I was peaking around 234 to 235 miles per hour at the time, which officially started my push for 240 miles per hour. So July, August, September, and into October, I was trying to get 240 mile per hour ball speed. Bryce and I were right back to setting up all of our camera angles and trying to accomplish it every single week. And again, every single week, we continued to fail and fail and fail. I got to the point where my club speed was fast enough, but for some reason, I just couldn't execute, couldn't line it up, couldn't have fast club speed that one day that I was lining it up. Like everything was just off the rails again. This led Bryce and I to have a conversation. It took us all the way back to 230 when I got 230 for the first time, just in a fun session, and we decided to try something new. We developed a method that we call set it and forget it. So at the beginning of every single session, all we would do is set up one phone. Typically it was his because mine was always playing music. We'd set it up in the gym equipment because the garage is small, so we were tripping over cameras anyway when training, and that takes you out of it, and it's a whole different mind thing. But we would set up a camera, hit play, we wouldn't talk about it, discuss it, nothing for the rest of the training session, and we would just leave it. And right then and there, I became the 2nd person in the world to accomplish 240 miles per hour ball speed. The camera set it and forget it worked, and forever we decided that we would be set it and forget it people and continue to train that way. So I go 240 in October, compete in the World Championships later that month, and then roll right back into an off season where I was super excited to push speed and see how high we could get this number. Only problem is I immediately got sick, which took me like a whole month to recover. Took me a long time to get my speed back. I think I ended up going 240 again, got sick again, recovered, went 240, got sick again. It was a really, really bad off season. I ended up getting sick like a total of 3 different times. But the weather started getting warmer, my immune system started functioning better, and one awesome thing happened during this time. I officially joined Team TrackMan. Now, the number one reason I wanted to get TrackMan is because most records, and the current world record at the time, was done on a TrackMan unit, so I wanted to do something on TrackMan, and all of this accumulated to this. I break the world record at 241.7 miles per hour, and just a couple of weeks later, I break my own record at 243 miles per hour, but I cut myself short on swings, so I knew I had more in the tank. Combination of that boosting my confidence, plus I had now gone 240 miles per hour plus in 5 consecutive weeks. My confidence was at an all-time high, and the garage renovation was starting to come to an end, so we found ourselves having more space, so we weren't tripping over cameras. All of that being said, I decided to give it one attempt with setting up every single camera at different angles because I knew something special was about to happen. First, I got 243.9 miles per hour, setting a new world record. Then I got 244 plus miles per hour multiple times, also setting a new world record. And then this happened. So there it is, 245 miles per hour and the new world record, but I am not stopping there. This officially starts my push for 250 miles per hour ball speed. I want to thank my wife for all the love and support. She means the absolute world to me, and I could not be doing this without her. Really want to thank Bryce, my training partner. He is here every single Monday training with me. It's been a pleasure training with him, and he is one of the main reasons I can push myself this hard. Having a training partner is vital to my progress. I want to also thank Chris for building all of my clubs, taking care of me. We talk through stuff to no end sometimes with really long conversations. I love them all. We're testing amazing things together, and he is just, I trust all of my stuff with him. I appreciate him. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate you. Really want to also thank my family and my friends for all of the support. Dad, I know you can't be here to see this, but I really do appreciate you, and I wish you could be here. Lastly, I want to thank God. I feel so blessed to be given this opportunity. He has gifted me with so much talent. I can only hope and pray that I can use it all to glorify His name. He is the only reason that I can do this and the only reason that I will continue to do this, because ultimately He is all that matters.